Hi, this is BB Brace from clutterclearinglifecoaching.com, and I want to talk briefly today about negative thoughts as opposed to positive thoughts, and how the two are different, or are they different? When we have a positive thought, it is more of an open thought. It shows an openness about the thing we're thinking about. We're open to seeing it for what it is rather than having a preconceived notion. We're enjoying this thing, whether it's a person, a place, a thing in the moment, a joke, what, it doesn't matter. We have a more of an open awareness about this thing. We're willing to see it for what it is. We're willing to enjoy it for what it is. Now, when we have a negative thought, closed off. We don't want to think about it anymore. We don't want to have anything to do with it. Energetically, that is. Mentally, emotionally, psychologically, even spiritually sometimes. We've closed the doors. We don't want to entertain thoughts of this particular thing anymore. Because we don't want to explore, we don't want to look, we don't want to find, we don't want to enjoy, we don't want to do anything. We basically are saying no. We are saying no to this thing. So, what happens when you have more negative thoughts than positive thoughts? You have more closing offs. You're closed off in many ways. You're closed off in more ways. You're just closed off to lots of things instead of being open to enjoy the positive side of things. Now, does that affect us in the real world, in day-to-day life? How does it affect us? How does it affect your day-to-day living? If you're more closed off to finding solutions and finding happiness or joy, or being more accommodating, or just having an openness to life itself, how does that affect you? If you have an aversion to it, you're closed off to it. Does that make you a happier person, or does that make you more cynical, more closed off, less enjoyable to be around even by other people? Because you are now finding life less and less enjoyable yourself. You are closing yourself off to happiness. And the thing about it, it's like wildfire, and it spreads. It'll probably start off with one thing that you're just closed off to, then you'll find that it's easier to just close yourself off to something else, and then something else, and then something else, and before you know it, it's gotten out of control. And you are wrapped and racked in a tight ball where you don't understand what's happening anymore. You're just having a really negative time of life, where you go from feeling negative to being negative. And you go into cynical mode. And then you go into, well, it only gets worse from there, into apathy. It just gets worse. But when you're open to feeling positive, what happens to you is that you find more solutions. You're apt to laugh more. You're apt to enjoy more. You're more outgoing. And people find it enjoyable to be around you. People find that it's a pleasure to be around you. Because your energy is one where you're just open and you're happy. To be open and happy doesn't mean you have to be a scholar. To be open and happy doesn't mean you have to be, excelling in any particular thing. It's not about how much you know, how learned you are, how smart you are, how witty you are, how rich you are, or how poor you are. It doesn't matter the body type. It just shows just a willingness to say yes to life. Yes to life. You know those people, you come into contact with them. You can tell when someone is closed off. You have a hard time even getting your point across to them. And then when you meet someone who is actually open to life, open to hearing what you're saying, it doesn't matter if they're rich or they're poor. It doesn't matter what walk of life they're from. You find it a pleasure to be around these people. It's pleasurable. It's pleasurable to be around them. And with that being said, which one would you choose? Which one do you feel is better for you? And if you're closed off to too many things, to the point where you're becoming cynical, where you're becoming just not fun to be around even to yourself, because you're finding that the delights you took in things once upon a time, it's no longer delighting you. It's no longer fun. It's no longer making you feel alive, because you're basically wrapped in a tight ball. What you do, the basic thing to do, is to find a therapist, get some therapy, get a life coach, get a motivation coach, get a life purpose coach. It doesn't matter. They all have great techniques that will help you to uncover, to unclutter, to declutter, and help you to open yourself up like a flower. Just open yourself up to life once again. Now, another thing to look at about when you're more closed off is you tend to do more negative things as well. Because when you hold negativity within, your actions are not going to be the most positive after a while. You're going to start to do negative things. When you're more positive, or when you have more of an optimism for life, you will find that your actions will be more conducive or in conjunction with more upbeat things, things that are more fun, things that are more spontaneity will come into play. Just having, a joyful moment in the moment, and just, not to be irrational. Don't confuse spontaneity with being irrational. We're talking, fun time for adults, or, spending time even with your kids. But just instead of going to this park today, you go to that park. Instead of walking the dog today, let's go fly a kite. Instead of going to the park, let's go to the beach. Let's go to the lake. Just something fun, healthy fun. So you make a decision. Is it better to focus on positive things? Is it better to be acting from a positive standpoint? Or is it better to be focused on the negative sides of life? And how does it affect you? How do you appear to other people? And is it working for you? Is it making you enjoy life? Is it bringing any type of fun into your life? Is it making you a pleasure for you to be around you? Because that's sometimes the hardest thing a lot of people have to face. They don't like themselves. They cannot stand to be alone or by themselves. They can't stand it because they're so closed off even to themselves. So again, what do you do in a situation like this? If you want to start, I would suggest get a pen and a paper and write down what you're feeling positive about, and write down 3 negatives. That it could very well have been this way, it could be this way. And at the bottom of that, write down 3 to 5 positives about the positive thought. And the same thing with the negative. So that you're facing and looking at what's inside your mind, what's inside your head, what's inside your psyche. The way you see life, the way you see that thing. Address it. Write it down and address it. And you'll be, gosh, I didn't realize I really felt this way or thought about it this way. You may surprise yourself. You may surprise yourself as to what you write down. Because when you're writing something, not on a keyboard, not dictating into your phone, we're talking getting a pen and a paper and actually engaging your 5 senses and writing them down. That engages the left and all 4 parts of your brain. So that's a good thing. It means you're looking at who you are, the way you think, and finding out what's going on under the hood. So a life coach is great. In the next video, I'm gonna explore a little more of positive thinking, to get to a positive place from a negative standpoint, and the stages you go through, and what may help to take you there. Until then, if you need my help sorting out anything or decluttering any of this, if you find that you're too negative and you need some help, my website is clutterclearinglifecoaching.com. That is clearing the clutter, emptying out the unwanteds, making room for what is more positive, what is more productive. clutterclearinglifecoaching.com. Make sure you put your phone number. I will call you as soon as possible, and we will see if I'm a good fit for you and if I can help you, and we will take it from there. Until the next video, peace.